Hi, I'm Michael Ellis, and over the last 10 plus years, I've made a number of DVDs with Leerburg on a variety of topics. And one of the questions that we get asked most frequently is, what order should I view the DVDs, or what order should I buy the DVDs in? And to answer this question fully, we have to talk a little bit about what your goals are. So typically there's some foundation work DVDs that you're going to want to go through first, but it does really depend on if you're raising a pet dog, a competitive sport dog, or what your overall interests are. But from the ground up, it goes about like this. We obviously have a Raising Your Puppy DVD, which would be the first one if you're starting with a puppy. That DVD tailors nicely with our Power of Training with Food. For anybody that's out of puppyhood with their dogs, the Power of Training with Food would be your first DVD, and it's the foundation of a lot of what we do. It talks about our communication system and how we begin to create behaviors. Once we have some basic fundamental focus, engagement, and we're beginning to teach behaviors, then it will depend on the disciplines you're wanting to do. So if you intend to work with your dog, and when I say work, I mean competitive obedience, agility, fly ball, dock diving, scent work, anything where you need motivation. At this point, you're going to look at one of our two videos that are geared towards building motivational games with your dog. One is Advanced Concepts in Motivation, and the other is The Power of Playing Tug. Both of these DVDs will help you create reward events for your dog, which is essential to more advanced training as you go forward. In this same time frame, I typically say when you're watching The Power of Training with Food, you should probably also coincidentally start with the Training the Recall DVD. We emphasize a lot, no matter what you're doing with your dog, from pet dog to competition sport dog, the recall is one of the most important, it is the most important behavior that we teach our dogs. So our Recall DVD takes that whole behavior from the ground up. And some of the foundation pieces may be covered in other DVDs, but the entire process is covered in the Recall DVD. So you now, depending on your interests, have looked at our basic communication and behavior creation DVD, Power of Training with Food. You've started your recall work with Training the Recall. If you're interested in sport work, Advanced Concepts of Motivation and Power of Playing Tug would be of interest to you. For those of you less interested in sport work, you might consider the next DVD to be our Leash Skills DVD. And in this DVD, we're going to talk about introducing the leash and leash pressure and beginning to add pressure to our work as we go forward. So that might be a good point to watch that. You definitely want to watch the Leash Skills DVD before, and the foundation DVDs before you would look at our electronic collar DVDs. So anybody that's interested, we have a two-part electronic collar DVD series, and I would highly recommend that everybody that's going to buy those get the Power of Training with Food at least, and the Recall DVD and the Leash Skills DVD. Those are will all cover the prerequisites that you're going to need for teaching the electronic collar. At this point, things diverge a little bit based on interests. So we have a whole series of DVDs that are geared towards foundation skills for more advanced obedience behaviors, and they're designed for exercises per se. So we have a focused healing DVD. So if you're interested in any kind of competitive obedience, you can start that. Again, that should start after our foundation DVD. Our foundation DVDs. We have teaching the jumps, we have teaching the send away, we have training the retrieve, the formal retrieve. All of those you can enter into after the foundation DVDs, regardless of timing wise, depending on your interest. We also have a DVD called Finishing Work. So that DVD, sometimes people ask me what that means. That DVD is where we begin to talk about reducing rewards and adding pressure to our work as necessary. This is the finishing stages. Your dog's beginning to understand the behaviors, and how do we put the finishing touches on those. So it is geared towards people that are interested in training working dogs, but the same principles apply to pet dogs. It would be a simplified version of this, but after you've gone through our foundation DVDs and you're at a spot where you're thinking, okay, my dog's beginning to understand these things, how do I progress it? How do I get off or reduce the rate of rewards? How do I begin to add correction to my work? The Finishing Work DVD would be for you at that point in time. So obviously there's no specific path through these DVDs, but there's a kind of prescribed foundation set of skills that you would want before you do any of the more advanced DVDs. Then we have several basically protection work titles, puppy bite work and training protection skills without a decoy. Both of these can be watched independently of any of the obedience and communication DVDs. So those you can get at any point they pique your interest. Hope that's helpful, and thanks again.